everyone and welcome to this third and last match of the Clash of the Clans round 3. So yeah, it's the last match, just to remind all you guys that one of the matches hasn't been played and won't be played. Both teams haven't been able to play their game in the given time, so one team was downgraded directly to the loser bracket and the other team, well, automatically won the match. So back on this game, once again and for the last time, sorry, Turingavald, 4,500 points to start with, and it's an economy mode, 5,500 points as usual. So on the NATO side, we've got the WTF team, Dirty D, Firestarter, and Valkyrie, and on the PACT side, we've got the Team 815, represented by Bad Danny, Spawn Farkal, and Toblerone 74. In terms of deployment points, well, we can see that the PACT has spent nearly all its points, while NATO has still nearly 500 points left in reserve. So, forces deployed, let's start with the support. 3 MLRS units on the NATO side, regrouped here around 3 FOBs and defended by 3 Vulcans, quite a nice defense. And nothing on the Echo sector. On the other side, we've got 2 S7 or 5-7? Not a clue. S7, 2 S7 Pion, very heavy artillery, and a few Smurfs here. We've got 1, 2, and 3 Smurf units, so a bit more support on the PACT side. In terms of deployments and units, we've got on the right side here 2 recon helicopters with the Gazelle AH-1. We've got anti-air with the Flak Panzers, infantry in transport, and a commander. Over here, infantry also, Wiesels, the Mark 20, the Wiesels, and the Chaparral units. So it's quite light vehicles with autocannons, of course. And over here, more or less the same thing, infantry in transport, but we've got a few tanks, a couple of Pattons, and one M1A1 Abrams, one of the heaviest tanks in the game. Quite a nice balanced tank. The only big drawback is, of course, the speed and the fuel capacity, and, well, going with it, the operational range. But other than that, great accuracy, great AP, very nice armor, especially on the side. So, very nice tank overall. And on the left side, we've got, once again, well, commander with anti-air and infantry with autocannon units, the Rarden and the Marder. Same over here, and over here infantry, autocannon units with the Wiesels and the Chaparral, the Marder, VTS-1, all those good stuff, all those good units. So it's one thing that comes out pretty quickly. All these NATO armies are composed nearly 100% of light vehicles. We've got only a few Patterns and an Abrams here, and ones I didn't mention, the AMX-32 over here. But that's the only tanks. On the other side, it's the same thing. We've got 2 T-64Bs over here, so quite nice tanks, but very small armor on the side and on the rear. But nice gun, nice ATGM. Well, more mediocre ATGM. Nice AP, but very bad accuracy. Well, medium accuracy. But it's a nice tank overall. But apart from this tank, we've got light anti-air with the Praga, infantry in transport, recon. We've got over here the same thing, infantry in transport, recon. Over here, apart from the tanks, we've got anti-air, infantry. Infantry again with light anti-air, and over here infantry with anti-air, and here the same thing, infantry with anti-air, and a bit bigger transport, but still only 1 of armor. The only big units we have are the T-64s, the artillery of course, and the 2 Havocs right here. 2 Havocs quite in a bad position if they go straight ahead. Of course, there are 3 Chaparral units coming in, 3 Chaparral units at, well, level 4 in experience, so that's pretty precise units once it's upgraded that much. So the Havocs are gonna have a pretty bad time if they don't get out of here. And it looks like the Chaparral are taking aim and shooting at the Havocs. 1 shot, 1 kill, 1 hit, sorry. So, yeah, and the Havocs are just getting killed. 2 Havocs are down, very big loss right at the start. And over here we've got the first MLRS shooting, the Smurf shot here, no real impact over here. Same over here, we've gotten quite big dispersion, not really efficient, but quite a nice hit. Well, yeah, not that much actually. It was a blind shot. So in terms of deployment, we've got Alpha contested by both teams with the BRM over here and the M114A1. On the left side, the NATO players have left the hotel sector to the PACT, but they control the reinforcement area with their tank, infantry, autocannon units, anti-air, and all those good units. So yeah, PACT has the point, but can't really send units over here. Foxtrot and Delta are controlled by the NATO players. Delta is being attacked by infantry, but the defense here will, well, eventually hold. They've got chest of FAMAS all over the place. Diesel is defending also, so it's pretty much gonna hold quite easily. Over here it's the opposite. We've got the NATO players who are charging into Gulf, and it seems like, well, they have the advantage over here also. They've got Mardons, they've got AMX-10P with chest of FAMAS charging into those Motostelki, and no commander over here. In the middle of the map on Charlie, we've got both commanders controlling the area, just like in the Alpha sector, and it looks like both teams are going for a straight ahead push, but with a slight advantage for the NATO players. Well, thanks to a badly positioned army, they are all regrouped over here, so the MLRS units are able to shoot at the big blob, and all those units are getting totally either killed or stunned, and can even go and panic. So it's a bad position here for the PACT players. They have received a direct hit on their army, and they have to pull back. Little advantage, so in the middle of the map, back into Gulf. We've got a big advantage also for the NATO players. It looks like they're gonna win over here. Well, it's not that obvious actually. They are 2 units but panicking, but there's got a big reinforcement here that will be able to counter-attack and retake Gulf. Over here reinforcements are coming in, but they are nearly insta-killed by all the Jaggers, autocannon units, and everything else. On the right side, still this balance between NATO and PACT commanders, and the PACT are sending a few units. Well, they seem to be the team that wants to push on this side, but the NATO players send also a few units of their own. Once again, light vehicles, autocannon, and anti-tank vehicles. And once again, the MRS are shooting at the regrouped army over here. Infantry are killed, transports are stunned, tanks are, well, panicked a bit also. So the army is totally destroyed here by the MLS units. So yeah, very nice use of the MLRS, artillery by the NATO players, but of course they are a bit helped also by the PACT players, who tend to group a bit too much their units. Delta has been cleaned by the NATO players. They are now controlling the entire sector. Smurf shooting over here, but not, well, yeah, quite a nice shot, but the NATO players have reacted just in time. They lost just a bit of, I think it's 1 chaparral, but the other units have been able to get out of their situation. Nice Smurf here also, with the vehicles getting shot at, but problem, well, most of the units get past and will be able to harass a bit the PACT lines. And here we've got a nice one other corrected shot on the commander over here. He's ejected by a few units on the NATO side, and the commander goes down. This is really the bad situation for the PACT players. They regrouped a bit too much their army. They got MLRS'd, if I can say so, twice by the NATO players, and then their commander got sniped. They didn't even move it. Quite a slow reaction time by the PACT players. So right now the NATO players are clearly getting a big advantage. They are really crap, I forgot the word. They are really controlling the game. They've got both sectors. They've got the middle of the map. They contested this sector over here and this one. So yeah, it's like 10, 13, 16, 18 points to 7. 18 points to 7, and they've got a nice advantage in terms of income or in terms of points already, even if they spent a little here. And one commander is sent in Gulf, that's why they lost 200 points, so they're gonna have 4 points more every 4 seconds. It's gonna be a very, very hard game for the PACT players. They still have 400 points that could allow them to come back in the game, but if they don't manage to come back with those points, it's gonna be pretty much a GG already. Yeah, the NATO players are totally dominating the PACT here, and once again the autocannon unit sent in directly to harass, smirching in the forest here. If the commander gets out, it's a miracle. Yeah, well, he gets out. The MLRS were shooting at the infantry units, and there are no defenses left, and the Wiesels will be able to take him out quite easily. Well, normally, of course. Back onto Charlie, we've got a few tanks here left on the PACT side, but nothing really dangerous, and the Abrams will normally be able to take it out quite easily. Yep, that's done. And over here, well, Wiesels are routing. 2 other of them are being attacked by a helicopter, but the helicopter is stunned, which allows the Wiesels to come in and well, take a bit of time, but they will be able to kill the commander normally. Here we go, 3 shots and the commander is down. Second commander killed by the NATO players. It's a very, very good position for them. PACT players are in a very, very bad shape. Still 500 points to spend. They really need to react now. The NATO players are controlling the entire map. On the left, they don't control the sector, but they control the reinforcement area. In the middle, they control Gulf, and the one commander is going to arrive. They control Foxtrot, Charlie, Delta. On the right side, they are contesting Alpha. So it's a very, very good game from the NATO players, and the PACT players, well, we didn't do that great. Big mistakes by blobbing their army over here, and well, bad reaction to the NATO autocannon. Well, I was gonna say spam, but not really a spam, but it's autocannon units. You've got to know the strengths of your opponents if you want to win games. Strength of NATO is, of course, their autocannon units, especially in such a hilly terrain as this map. And well, of course, if you want to beat autocannon units, you need the the right units, and just spamming light vehicles on the PACT side won't help. The autocannons are particularly good against light units. Even if they can kill tanks at point blank range, they are very, very good against infantry, transport, light vehicles. So yeah, you really need to get the good units to stop them. Good units like tanks, medium tanks, maybe heavy tanks, just give them a bit of view, and they will be able to snipe the autocannon units from afar, and it works pretty well. But you need to manage your units, to micromanage your units, of course. So back in Charlie, a bit of a counter-attack here by the PACT players, but the NATO players are holding pretty well. Over here, Feldspacher, so there is another good illustration of the good use of infantry recon in Wargame. The size of the unit doesn't really matter in terms of detection. If you've got a small, normal or big unit, you'll be detected as easily. A big unit will be detected as easily as a small one by recon units. The only exception is infantry. As you can see here, the Feldspacher aren't even detected by the Pragas or other units, even if they aren't that far. A normal recon unit, a jeep or anything else, would have been detected. So it's quite nice to use infantry units like these to detect enemy units quite stealthily. So, well, it's game, yeah, that's it. We've got Gulf controlled over here, a few units sent in to defend, well, even more Gulf sector. It's pretty much GG at this point. Well, the PACT players have only 2 sectors left. On Hotel, they pulled back their commander. He was in a pretty bad shape. They pulled him back on Kilo over here to get the repairs from the FOB. And well, that's pretty much it. Only 2 sectors left against 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's pretty much the end of the game, and they already spent quite a lot of points to come back in the game. It didn't work, and now 215 versus 1600. Even if they put an all-in, NATO will just need to spend 300 points to defend. Well, they don't even have to. They have a big unit advantage, so it's pretty much the end of the game. I'm gonna speed things up, and just look how it ends. A bit counter-attack here with 8-0 units. Those are units that could deal with autocannon units if they stay quite well, far away from the autocannon units, but unfortunately they didn't have any. They had only troop transports and infantry, so it's of course really easy for autocannon units to wipe everything out. Yeah, still charging over here. The commander just pulled back a bit. The Apache is making a real massacre over here. The Zeros aren't able to shoot against helicopters. A small charge over here, but directly stopped by the NATO infantry. Well, everything has been done. Zeros over here, infantry over here, and the commander has even well been sniped over here by the MLRS, I believe. Nope, not this one. Or the Ardens. Yeah, I didn't follow that, so, sorry. But yeah, the NATO players have won this match. They are controlling the entire map, and they are still harassing the enemy. See, the Vance Barrier here is here. He isn't even detected, and he can see, well, not really much actually. All units are hidden, but he could detect enemy units and be quite a pain to the PACT players. And Vance Barrier here also. So yeah. These are things that players need to know. Infantry recons are really a pain in the ass when the opponent really knows how to play them, and you can then, with the help of these guys, well, make really nice corrected shots with true artillery or MLRS artillery. And here we go, 90% of the points have been gathered by the NATO players. Once more the MLS are shooting, killing a Smush, and the game is gonna be won by the NATO players. Here we go, end of the game. 19 minutes of game, really short game. 4,600 versus 273. It's a very, it's more than total victory, it's a crushing victory. If you look at the kills, 4,000 versus less than 2,000, more than double the points. You can really see that the NATO team has, well, they played really well, but the PACT players made big mistakes. The blobbing in the middle, 2 salvos of MLRS, and everything is gone. Then the commander that gets sniped, and then all the autocannon units at once stopped. It's, yeah, the PACT players didn't really weren't really prepared to MLRS sniping and autocannon, full autocannon push, which of course is usually the case on these kinds of maps. But quite a nice game all in all. Thanks for watching, I hope you liked it, and see you next time.